we are mildly interesting guys, and we talk about some stuff. So welcome to the podcast, we call it Joel the Podcast. It's Alex and it's Alex, here for Joel the Podcast. Hello everybody, I'm Alex.
And I'm Alex.
And this is our podcast, Joel. So I think it's actually some like if we were recording before and then stopped and then started again, it's like starts up faster. So I guess I wasn't expecting that. So there's still 3 seconds of silence in the beginning. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome to our podcast. We're here, episode 30. Surprised we've made it this far, or is it episode 30? So we have some exciting news. I guess it's not really news, but it's an interesting bit of podcast lore, which is that we lost an episode of our podcast. So what happened? So we made an episode where we listened to Jake and Amir's podcast, If I Were You, or actually I listened to it and wrote down some of the questions that they answered, and then we talked about those questions. And somehow we lost the actual recording of that episode. And you may remember from episode 11, titled Definitely Not Episode 12, that we that we really thought it was episode 12, that entire episode. And I suspect that it's because there was that episode we had before it that we just lost.
So it actually was episode 12 all along, and somehow, probably due to me, in some way, we are just missing the real episode. Well, the real episode 12? The real episode 11.
It would be before the one that's 11 now that we thought was 12. So I don't know if it would be. I guess it was probably actually 11.
So we're thinking that 11, when we said it was 12, we were actually right.
Yes.
And okay, so yeah, so that's a fun fact for everybody. When we blow up and get super famous and everybody is talking about us on trivia nights and stuff, make sure to take that one home to all your friends and let them know that you knew all along.
All along.
All along.
Nice. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to start off this episode. I guess start off is not correct, but by saying that Nathan does not owe me $1 yet. We are waiting until March to find out.
Yep.
Who owes whom $1.
Excellent grammar. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, in listening to some of our clips, I can hear myself using bad grammar, and I just want to correct myself.
Here's something. I know we didn't plan for this episode or anything, but here's something I had thought of previously that we can talk about. We can wait till we get through all the introduction stuff if you want. But I am curious to hear what our listeners think about the audio quality of this podcast, because as I was listening back to grab all these clips, to some extent I was like, who cares what the audio is like? It doesn't, nobody listens to this, whatever. But I was mildly annoyed with how bad it sounds.
Really?
In some episodes, yeah, like the little audio glitches from Skype, and
right,
sounds kind of, I don't want to say fake, but like definitely recorded. Like it, doesn't at all sound like you're in the room.
Right. The thing that really most annoys me is when we're trying to talk at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just like it won't allow that. It'll only play one of us. So
right. And I remember you mentioned that a couple episodes ago, and I thought you were just making that up or remembering wrong from the um what was it? The Google whatever it was we were using before we started using Skype. Um, no sponsorships there or anything, but if you're interested, Microsoft, we won't say no.
If you're a Microsoft Skype marketing team, please email us
Yes,
at
and we
alexandalex
will
at joelthepodcast@gmail.com.
gladly do whatever you want in order for you to give us some money. Um, anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that if you are a listener to this podcast, and you are concerned with the audio quality, please email us with what you think we should do about it. If what you think involves, like, buying audio equipment or something like that, please be prepared to donate because
Email us 2 new studio quality microphones.
yeah, no, that'd be really great actually. Just forget everything I said. Just do that, Sometimes we don't get straight to the point. That's the point right there.
Yep,
Email us some microphones.
Send us free stuff. Yeah, I think since we're not sponsored by Skype, another issue is Skype, and we would need to find some other software that would be higher quality.
So I think what we could do is, and this would solve up our synchronization issues with the Joel at the beginning as well. We could actually do Skype just through headphones or something so that we can hear each other, but we can both individually record with some separate software, and then get both the clips put together, sync it up right on the Joel, because I don't think we're ever so far off that the entire rest of the episode being shifted a tiny bit would really affect it too much.
Right.
That way all our intros sound perfect. The audio quality is crisp. This is basically my dream for the podcast, honestly. So if our listeners,
I just want to say that if we do, that's definitely feasible.
Yeah.
But you'll probably have to be the one putting in the effort on that.
Listen, I know I've said some things before about effort on this podcast, and I know we just listened to a lot of clips about effort on this podcast, and they were all 100% true. And if we're being honest, I don't put in effort on this podcast. That's what this is all about. However, doing what I just said and layering up the clips together would not be that difficult. It would be a little bit more work because I would have to line up the Joels, but it's just dropping in 2 audio files instead of 1 audio file. And in fact, if we were recording straight to an audio file, that would get rid of the step that I have been doing of taking the Skype video and turning that into an audio file instead of a video file.
Right. So let me ask you this. Do you want to try it next week? And for our 1 year, and
oh man, I mean, kind of. I also don't want to mess up that episode by doing stupid audio stuff. So
right.
I don't know.
Well, here's what we could do. We could record it on Skype like usual, and try that, and record separately. And then if you try and put it together and it's good, then just use that. But otherwise, just use the normal method. Yeah,
you are correct. Yeah. Why do you have? I guess your phone can probably record, right?
Yeah, actually, I believe, I can verify this, but I believe a recent software update has added voice recorder software to my phone, which is kind of dumb that it didn't include that to begin with. But
yeah, honestly, right. Okay, but yeah, so point being then that we can, I mean, it won't really improve the quality of the podcast yet, but we can test it out, see if it's something feasible to do, and then if our listeners are really excited about it, then this is something that we can plan on moving forward.
Right. So, yeah. So if next episode high quality, you're welcome to all of our listeners. And yeah, so I guess you don't need to email us with your ideas because we just came up with our own idea. But we still need you to email us with free microphone equipment. That would be good.
Right.
So please do that.
Exactly.
All right. So continuing with the podcast,
back to the introduction.
There's not much new sports stuff to talk about since last week. Purdue lost to Maryland. I guess the AFC Championship game's going on right now, and Tennessee's winning. What quarter does it say that is?
It's the second quarter.
There are
4 minutes left in the second quarter.
So your prediction of
winning 17-7. However, Kansas City is at the Tennessee 20. So
right. So
we'll see.
So your prediction's looking good so far.
Kansas City just scored a touchdown.
All right.
I'm not worried. Tennessee's unstoppable. They're the team of destiny.
So yeah, also Purdue lost a close one to Maryland yesterday.
Yep.
At Maryland, so it's not that big of a loss.
It's a bit of a bummer because if you cut out the first bit of the game, Purdue really outplayed Maryland.
Exactly.
They started off so terribly.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the score doesn't cut off the first bit of the game.
We should really talk to the NCAA about doing that.
Yeah, just call them up and be like, the first 5 minutes of the game just doesn't count of every game.
We are a very successful podcast, and I think us and our listeners would agree that games would be improved if you just ignored the part where Purdue was losing.
If you're listening to this podcast, email the NCAA. I don't know what their email address is, but I'm sure you can find it. And tell them that they should ignore the first 5 minutes of every basketball game. And if enough people do it, we can enact change.
Yeah, that would be really inspirational, I think, if we managed to convince the NCAA to make a rule change.
Yeah.
That would truly show you the power of podcasts.
Tell me, having listened to a bunch of clips, which would be a higher point in your life? If this podcast got the NCAA to change the rules of basketball, or Randall Monroe listened to this podcast and wrote an XKCD about us.
Oh man. Okay, so this is really, really tough. Because even though I knew what you were going to say for the second option, until you said it, I was still like, oh man, changing the rules of basketball because of us is huge. What could possibly top that?
Right.
But being the subject of an XKCD, like you and me personally, oh man, that would be magical. That is my dream.
So you're going with XKCD?
I can't not say XKCD.
Right.
It's a really tough decision, but man, that would be cool.
Nice.
So, listeners, let's make it happen.
Yep.
We can.
Everybody, if you're listening to this podcast, email Randall Monroe. I don't know what his email address is, also, but I'm sure you can find it.
Do you think it's Randall Monroe at xkcd.com?
There's a non-zero chance that that's what it is.
It could also be like R. Monroe or something of that nature.
Randall
so try all
Monroe.
of those emails, listeners. Don't give up until you've reached Randall.
You could also just probably check out his website. Probably has it.
I bet you're right. In fact, let me do that for you, listeners. That way, it is even less effort for you to do this for
listeners,
us.
You may think of us as a low-effort podcast, but no longer. We are putting in the effort for you right now.
Oh, man. All right. So I went to... Oh, email. Wait. No. That's a bummer.
What?
I went to xkcd.com and there was a link that said email. But in fact, this is a subscription link. So you can enter your email and subscribe to XKCD updates. And let me just tell you, this website looks like it was built by me. Go ahead and go to xkcd.com and click the email link. You'll see what I mean.
it looks it looks like somebody who didn't know CSS wrote this website.
Yep.
Let's look at the element. I just want to see. It is very short. Let's see. Literally, someone who's learning HTML could write this website. It's like less than 20 lines of HTML.
Go ahead, and while you're writing up the email to Randall about making an XKCD about us, give him a quick critique of this website. This is honestly not that good.
Yeah, XKCD is a shit website. You heard it here, folks.
Well, just that page of it is anyway.
This page. Yeah. So.
Do you think this our request to make an XKCD about us counts as a press question?
Yeah, I cannot imagine that it's a store-related question. So.
Right. I suppose go ahead and try press@xkcd.com. And you know what? It might as well also try orders@xkcd.com too.
Yeah.
Like, why not, right?
Yep.
So, make sure to CC us on the email as well so that we can pay attention to who is doing this. And well, if you email Randall Monroe at orders and/or press@xkcd.com and CC us on that email, we'll give you a nice shout out whenever we see that in our inbox.
Yep. All right.
So there's also forums.
What?
I clicked on the forums link, and it's even worse than the
Where is the forums link?
It's just a 503 page. The XKCD forums are currently offline.
RIP.
Oh, it looks like they had a data breach or something, so they're taking them offline. Okay, that's all right. I feel a little bit bad that I made fun of this page because that's pretty legit.
By the way, do you see the current XKCD?
The South America one? Yes, that's pretty high quality.
Yeah.
I know we disastrously did an XKCD segment before, but just go ahead and take a look, listeners, to the XKCD from what is today? I don't even know.
2256.
All right, look at that one. It's pretty good.
Yes. All right. So now that we've just alerted everyone that we are now an effort putting in podcast, for today's episode we've put in no effort. So, first off, we received another email. So, why don't you go ahead and read the email, Nathan?
All right, I gotta pull it up again since I had the Chiefs and the Titans up on my phone. I am watching that game very closely.
Yep.
All right, so this email is once again from Cephalopod Master. He sent this to us yesterday. He says in the subject line, "I am a dumbass." Thank you very much for saying that. We really appreciate it. And the body of the email is, "My favorite moment of the show so far is episode 27 from 53:12 to 1:13:18. When I received this, I was really excited. You know, first of all, somebody said they were a dumbass. That's hilarious. Keep them coming, guys. Second of all, I thought, hey, somebody listened to the episode where we were like, hey, send us your favorite moments. And then they did. I thought we were getting some nice feedback. But then we went and listened to that timestamp from episode 27. And it's just silence.
Yeah, so this is a hilarious roast by Cephalopod Master. So, thank you, Cephalopod Master, for your email and for your feedback about what your favorite moment is. Although, if you do actually have any moments that you thought were funny, please do email them to us. There's still a week before we record our at least at the time of recording, there's a week before our
At
final.
the time of posting, sorry, this happened about 6 months ago.
But at the time, but yeah, even otherwise, send us your favorite moments that are not just silence.
Right.
To Alex and Alex at joelthepodcast@gmail.com. So, yeah, thank you, Cephalopod. All right. So, next thing's next. I think we said one of the things last episode, we said we could spend an entire episode talking about humorous ways that Joel could have harnessed energy to power his time machine. So if you are tired of that movie, listening to episodes about that movie, too bad, because here's another one. But hopefully this one will be funny and not about the movie.
Right.
So I think the humorous idea we came up with last time, which you will likely hear in a quote next week, is that a meteor struck Joel and the time machine, killing him and transporting his dead body back in time to the desired time.
Oh man, that's still hilarious. That's a great answer.
Yep. So and another, I know we didn't put it in the clips, but another thing you suggested was he shoots down a plane with a nuclear reactor on it, which we didn't end up using that either, but that's another option. So off the top of your head, you got any more ways that he could get the energy? By the way, the more absurd, the better.
Right. So obviously the first thing that comes to mind is that this time machine is a sphere.
Yes.
So right away, I know there's going to be a little bit of criticism for this idea because we did say that it can't be moved. However, if we look past that, what we can say is that if Joel were to dig a hole next to the time machine and then push the time machine into the hole, you could harness a lot of gravitational potential energy.
That's a good one. When you started saying that, I thought you were going to say Joel just has to push the time machine around the clearing as fast as he can.
That is also pretty good.
It's a pretty heavy time machine, though. I'm imagining him building like ramps and stuff to push it down.
Right. But he does have quite a while, so...
Yeah. So you never know.
Right.
What else? So I feel like with all the time he has, he could set up he could attach some wood to the time machine and make it kind of like a water wheel. So
okay.
When it rained, it would turn the time machine in place.
That's pretty good. All right.
Yeah, or even better, it's like a sideways water wheel, and he just pushes it himself around in circles.
He just spins it in circles.
Yes.
Right. What if he spent... Okay, so he can't leave the clearing, so this is going to get really complicated pretty quickly.
Excellent.
But what if he spent 40 years polishing as many surfaces as he could to a mirror finish to reflect solar energy onto the surface of the time machine? Immediately, the problem I'm remembering is that the time machine, I think, is also fairly reflective.
Yes.
So, I don't know. There may be a slight challenge as far as, like, managing the...
He polishes something to be a mirror, and... No. Okay, he polishes a bunch of stuff to be mirrors, and he uses them all to reflect the sunlight onto a single point below the time machine. And under the time machine, he has placed a bunch of sticks and leaves and stuff to start a fire. So he starts a fire underneath the time machine. Unfortunately, this doesn't actually work. So he puts a pot of boiling water under the time machine, and then just goes back to the water wheel idea I said, but it's a steam engine.
He's focusing all of the energy to start a fire, to boil some water, so that the steam will turn a small wheel, which will eventually turn the time machine. That's pretty convoluted.
Okay, here's one better. The small wheel doesn't actually do anything to the time machine. It winds up a really large rubber band so that when you let go, it'll shoot off really quickly. And then that hits the time machine, which gives it enough energy to go back in time.
So you just shoot a large rubber band fairly quickly at the time machine. And
imagine you're designing a time machine, and you're like, I wonder how I should power this time machine. And your solution is to wind up a really large rubber band and shoot it at the time machine.
Oh man, that's pretty. I wonder if we should. Would it be? I'm trying to picture like what the Rube Goldbergiest way to do this would be. You know what I mean? Like, so he boils some water. He starts a fire to boil some water. To turn to steam to wind up. To spin a wheel, to wind up a rubber band,
Okay, the rubber band kills like a deer or something.
Ah, okay.
Then he waits 30 years for the deer to decompose into nutrient-rich soil, and then he plants a tree, and then he then he waits about 100 years or however long it takes the tree to be fully grown. Then he chops down the tree, which lands on the time machine and sends it to the future.
Just like a big club smacking down on the ball. Okay.
That one's a little bit infeasible, though, because he has to wait over 100 years.
Right. Everything about the idea would have worked, except for that small detail, which is...
Yup.
Unfortunate. I think we had a real winner there up until we realized that.
Right. Well, let's just. What's another use for the rubber band then?
Okay, so instead of shooting a deer, he shoots it at an airplane, attempting to alter the course of the plane. At first I was thinking he could just shoot down the airplane, but then it's problem solved, right? Like, we need some more intermediate steps.
Right. Right. Well, so maybe he
shoots the rubber band into one of the engines of the plane, which forces the pilot to make an emergency landing, saving all of the people on board the plane. So the pilot becomes a local community hero and devotes his life to the prevention of rubber bands being shot at airplanes.
No. Here's what it is. He shoots at the plane. The pilot safely lands it, which makes him a hero, but not a local hero. He's a hero in like where he's from, right? Which is probably not that close because he was in an airplane. So
sure. Okay, that's
so
fair.
Over time, his fame grows, and he becomes elected mayor and then governor of the state. Now, it's still not the same state that Joel's in, but one day, the guy decides he wants to run for president. So, he travels to the state where Joel is located to campaign for being the president. And while he's there, he's handing out a lot of flyers to, try and promote, himself as being the president.
Right.
But people actually don't like him because they know his one accomplishment is landing a plane, and that has nothing to do with being the president. So what happens is they all throw out their flyers. Now, I'm lost. Pick me up from here.
All right, so all of the flyers get thrown out, and see, normally, because this person is giving out clearly an unusually large number of flyers, so this affects the volume of trash pickup that happens around the city. This causes the city to need to hire more garbage workers and also buy more trucks from surrounding cities.
I just want to interrupt here real quick, which is to explain why he has more flyers than usual.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Since he was a pilot, he thinks flyers would be the most effective way of advertising. Anyway, go on.
His entire campaign is based on that one pun, which is why people don't like him very much.
Right.
Despite his heroic actions. Okay, so there we go. That's
Okay, here you go. They hire more garbage men and buy some more garbage trucks from the surrounding area. But since they're hiring garbage men quickly, they don't vet them very carefully. So they accidentally hire a criminal who wants to use the garbage truck to rob a bank because they can like break it through the door like they did in The Dark Knight, right?
Right.
With the school bus.
Uh-huh.
So they do that and they steal the money, but the police are onto them and they're being chased by the police. So they're driving down the highway in this large garbage truck with a bunch of cash in it. And what happens is they lose control of the truck and it careens off the highway into the woods. All right?
Yeah.
Pick me up from here.
All right. So obviously it would be absurd to say that the truck just hits the time machine at this point. Like, right. That's wild. There's no way. So what we need to do is come up with some reason that a garbage truck specifically full of cash, or maybe not specifically, like that. I mean, that could just be some neat backstory.
I've got it. Okay. This is the best thing. The garbage truck careens into the forest. Now, over time, small animals and it's the cash is thrown into the forest and no one can find it because that's a dark forest or some shit. So they catch the garbage men criminals and they take them to jail and they take the truck away, but the cash is still in the forest. And over time, birds pick up the dollar bills to use them as part of their nests. And they're building nests near the clearing where Joel is. And over time, as these nests deteriorate, the cash blows into the clearing. Joel collects all the cash. Now, someone else comes upon the clearing. It's a kid. He doesn't understand what the time machine is, but Joel pays him some of the cash to go buy gasoline and powers it with gasoline. That he paid money for.
And it wouldn't take in. Never mind.
Yep. Although there is an alternate way, which is the garbage truck careens into the forest and explodes, causing a forest fire. Then that spreads to the entire forest, but since he's in a clearing, he's not affected by the fire, just the entire forest around him is on fire. This causes lots of animals to flee into the clearing. And since they're all fleeing, they run into the time machine, and it gives it enough energy to go into the past.
All of the animals simultaneously smashing their bodies into the surface of the time machine. And for good measure, probably some, burning branches and things falling into it.
Yep.
All right. We said we would do, an episode about this, but I genuinely don't know where we should go from here in order to try and top that. That was a masterpiece.
Right. That was pretty good. As far as I'm thinking back to when you said the rubber band hits the plane. Oh, right. I had some idea of he shoots the rubber band at the plane, but the plane sees it and roughly turns to avoid it. This causes a slight air current to shoot downwards towards the clearing, but I don't know where I would go from there. I think that's a little bit more absurd than the pilot becoming a presidential candidate thing.
And his ridiculous campaign of flyers.
Honestly, that's so good.
Yep. All right. I think during the episode, I think this is the problem we were trying to overcome, where we were saying if people can come up with a better answer than what we gave, that
they should comment.
I didn't think anybody would be able to do it because that requires thinking a lot about the episode.
Right.
I didn't expect anyone would do. But I think we just topped it again. So this is the new bar. You need to
Yep.
beat this explanation if you're going to try and email us. So
Right.
just keep that in mind, everybody.
So since we're kind of running out of steam on this, one of the other things we said we would do in this episode is talk about the comments on our videos.
Right. That's
so
right.
Why don't you pull up some
have
of those
it pulled
comments?
up?
No, I don't have it pulled up. Does the podcast account get an email when we get comments?
We get notifications on the channel, which I can view here. In fact, we might have a full section of okay. Here's a page that shows all of the videos we've uploaded. It shows the number of views, the number of comments, and likes versus dislikes, and the percentages, and all that sort of stuff. So this is all really interesting. We might just want to scroll through this and comment about it.
Right. So am I on your laptop here?
Yeah, you're on my laptop.
Why don't you
Can I
share your
share my
screen here? Yeah.
Let's see. Is that this button?
So I know the listeners won't be able to see it, but
Start sharing.
but I'll be able to see it, which is really all that matters.
Right. Can you see my screen now?
Yep. Yes, I can see your screen.
Oh, good.
All right. So you have episode. Looks like you have episode 29 scheduled to be uploaded.
Right. I decided that should come out on January 23rd, which I believe is this Thursday at 4 p.m.
Nice. That's a good time to release it.
So there's probably no reason that this video would get uploaded before then, so you've already seen that that's when the other one came out. There's no way for you to
Right.
get excited for that date and time based on this podcast, but
Right. All right. So just looking at this screen, I'm surprised that episode 27 has 10 views.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so it looks like that episode has a comment, so why don't you find out what that comment is?
All right, let's take a look at this comment. Hi, Alex and Alex. This is Greg. Can you do an episode on New Year's resolution? This is from Maelstrom.
Hi, Maelstrom /Cephalopod. I guess, yeah, we can.
Sure. Let's do that right now.
Oh, right now we've already wasted half the episode.
Oh, you want to do? Okay, so we'll make an entire separate episode just dedicated to this.
Yeah, I mean that seems like that's what our listener wants, and we only have 2, so we should do whatever they want.
Good point. All right, so
thank you for your comment, Greg. We will be sure to look out for episode 32 maybe or 33 to be about New Year's resolutions, even though they will take place in February.
Yep, we can at that point we'll have a good idea of how our New Year's resolutions are going, so
yep,
there will be some fun commentary there. Cool. All right, so as we continue to scroll,
I'm seeing 19 views on Joel the theme song. That's nice.
Right. Lots of those are probably me. I really enjoy listening to our theme song.
Nice.
But even before that, we've got a couple of comments on our World Tour podcast. Let's take a look at that one. Ben Medoff says, "Why does it just cut off?" Well, Ben, it's because my phone stopped recording for some reason.
Yeah, we do not know why that happened. But if you listen to the following episode 23, we do talk about it a little bit.
Right.
And we are disappointed that it happened that way.
But not for you, just for us.
Yeah. For you, we're not disappointed because, you didn't come to the show. But
right.
Yeah,
was he a listener before the live show? Like, would he have known?
I don't know. Let's see. There was an episode where we were talking about him being a listener, right?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think there was an episode where you were saying that he had started listening, and in fact, I got a clip from that episode. So let me go find which one that was.
Yes. So yeah, for our listeners, while Nathan's looking through our spreadsheet of quotes that we've logged, and yes, we have logged many quotes from all of our episodes, which we have now listened to. So tune in next week to hear our top 10 quotes, funniest, as well as hopefully at some point next week or the following, we'll have a commercial. So we recorded it today, and we're gonna throw some clips in there, and yeah. So you find it yet?
It may be from episode 16, but I didn't write very good notes, or didn't write specific enough notes to know. So, maybe.
It was around 16, 18, 20, right? Would you say?
Yeah, that ballpark.
So before 22.
Most likely. And we had certainly explained that we were going to do that before episode 22. So I think Ben's on the hook for this one.
Yeah, Ben, you're on the hook.
Congratulations.
No, that's bad.
Oh.
Uncongratulations.
Uncongratulations.
Nice.
All right. Send my congratulate. All right.
Looks like we have a comment on episode 21.
We do have a comment on episode 21, and it is from Ben Medoff. So this was our what's it called? Monkey's Paw episode. So Ben replies to one of our scenarios, which was about having a photographic memory. He says, "You have photographic memory, but using it requires so much brain function that, when in use, all of your other brain functions cease, including unconscious functions."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is it's pretty bad.
I mean, it's a pretty good con, because I think, having listened to that episode recently, I don't think we came up with any cons to having a photographic memory.
Right.
So, good job, Ben. You are now
actually, huh?
I was about to say, Ben's now smarter than we are, and then I almost spilled milk on my laptop again. Fortunately, there were only a few drops in there.
So you did spill milk on your laptop, it was just a little bit.
Well, no, I spilled it on me.
Oh. I think that's better.
It's close to my laptop since my laptop's on my lap.
Right. That is somewhat better. So.
All right. So, yeah.
We also had a comment on episode 1.
Wow.
And that comment was also from Ben.
What?
Here it is. For our listeners, it is the word Joel surrounded by, I think, donut emojis.
What is this? Ben, please email us to explain this comment. alexandalex@joelthepodcast@gmail.com.
Right.
We're very Joel curious. Surrounded by donut emojis.
Yeah. Didn't do a very good job either, because it's kind of like caved in on one side.
Yeah, it needs an extra space. I
don't mean to be too critical here, Ben, but this is clearly asymmetric, and you probably should have seen that as you were typing it, right? So
yeah, I don't mean to be critical here, Ben, but this is the worst YouTube comment I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. Wow. All right.
Also, noticing, looking at this page, episode 1 has the most views of any of our episodes with 11.
Any actual episode that No, you're wrong.
Oh, no.
Number 14, episode 14, Would You Rather, has 12 views.
That's interesting. That being, those two being in contention for our best episodes, I think.
Right. I think we have said multiple times that both of those are among our top episodes. I don't. Have we ever had any viewers comment on like actually what they think?
I don't. Not that I can think of. I mean, I know Ben has said after Ben got through. Ben got to a certain point and he stopped. He was like, "This the podcast is not that interesting anymore. What should I start listening to where it's interesting?" And I said, "Start listening to 14. 14 is good." And
Okay.
I think he agrees with that, but I guess I don't really remember him ever saying, which one he thought was the best.
Sure. So it's possible that I suppose just kind of implicitly everyone's agreeing with us because of the view counts that I'm seeing here. That's just kind of
Yep,
what it's telling me. But
and I would also argue that 27, which has the third most views, is also up there in one of the better ones.
yeah, you're right. Definitely one of our highest energy episodes. Receiving our first email, I still remember the day.
Me too. Yeah. All right. I do want to make a comment about episode. What episode was it? There was an episode. Oh no, it was episode 27. There's a clip from there that I didn't point it out, but it's you saying, "All right, I'm saying this on the podcast, so I have to do it. I'm gonna put the picture that Ben sent us of the baby as the actual picture of the video at this time, and it's just not there."
So in episode 28, there's a clip where I realized I did not do that, and did feel a bit bad about it. So
I believe it's in the Google Drive folder of it, right?
I did put it in the Google Drive folder. In episode 28, where I realized that I didn't put it in episode 27, I said that I would upload a just short video where there was no audio or anything. It was just the picture of the baby for like 15 seconds or something. I said I would do that, and I haven't done that. So.
Do you plan to do that?
Now that it's on the drive, I mean, no.
All right, cool.
I think just being a drive exclusive for those of us that, or for those of you rather, that click the link in our description to visit our Google Drive repository of all of the episodes that you can feel free to download and listen to at your leisure.
Also, episode, what was it, 11 or 13 or something, where we were talking about your brother's channel.
Right.
We said we would put a link to his channel in the description, and we did not do that, I believe.
So I saw on a different video a link to his channel, so I think I just did it on the wrong video.
Oh, I see.
So.
Yeah, so if you want to have a link to Andrew's channel, please just watch all of our videos until you find the one that has it in the description.
Right.
Seems like the only way you would ever be able to find it.
Once you do find it, please watch all of the rest of the videos as well, just to make sure that you found it.
Make sure it wasn't a fake link.
Right.
You obviously can't click on it until you know for sure that it's the real link.
Right. I will say that I have included the real link and also a link to a virus that if you click on that without having watched all of our YouTube videos, I legally will own your computer.
Since everyone, I just want everyone to know, since I'm the hacker of the pair, that I wrote the virus. So
yes, in fact you did. Thank you for doing that.
The virus sends a fake email to us.
Right.
Signed Joel.
Signed Joel. So we'll know it wasn't. So we'll know it was because you clicked the virus, because Joel would never email us.
Joel would never email us. Nor listen to this podcast. So.
Right. I want to interrupt real quick to say that it is now the second half of the Titans-Chiefs game. The Chiefs have scored again after the after the score that we last commented on. So it is now 21-17, and they are in possession of the football. I still have 100% faith in the Chiefs. No, in the Titans.
You heard it here first, folks. Nathan has 100% confidence that the Chiefs will win the game.
In fact, I'll bet $1 on it, so that either way I'm right. So
for everyone listening, including ourselves, that is not a real bet.
Correct. Thanks for clarifying. That definitely would have become a problem in the future if you hadn't said that. So, but in any case, they're now at 4th and 3, so they're going to punt it away. Tennessee's going to score a touchdown, and then they're going to score a pick 6 on each of Kansas's next 6 or 7 drives. So it's pretty much guaranteed a win at this point for Tennessee. I think they should just end the game now, but count it as a win for Tennessee.
Right.
Rather than looking at the actual score.
Yeah.
That's what any rational person would do, I'm sure.
If you're a listener to this podcast, many of you, please email the NFL to change the rules of football, so that they don't look at the actual score. They just look at whoever is probably going to win, according to us.
Right. Definitely according to us. That's the key point here.
Make sure you mention this podcast.
Right. And CC us on the email so we can keep track of that as well.
Email the NFL@nfl.com.
That's definitely the email. I'm not even looking.
I just made that up, so just try it and see if it works.
Yep. Cool. All right. How are we doing on time? I have no sense of how long this has been.
We are at 51.5 minutes.
That is excellent for a podcast where we had no idea what we were going to do. And
yeah, we basically just winged it the whole time.
Yep. Once again, I think we did that last week too, didn't we?
Let's see. Last week was a mild disappointment. What actually happened in that episode? I just listened to it like 2 days ago.
We finished the movie.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, we didn't just wing it. We knew what we were going to do.
Wait. Did we finish the movie, or am I thinking of 28?
No, we definitely finished the movie.
So 28 we winged it then. Because we definitely winged the last one we did that wasn't a movie.
Okay. All right. By the way, I'm now looking at episode 26 here in the middle of this Olive Garden. I'm realizing that for like the 100th week in a row, we forgot to do the Olive Garden quote. And I'm thinking we may just have to say that it's not part of the podcast.
Maybe it should be an end of the podcast thing, because we typically do think of it during the podcast, right? We just don't.
Yeah, all right. That's a good idea. All right, it's now an end of the podcast thing officially.
All right. That way, every time we remember in the middle of the podcast, we can sneakily just do it.
Right.
Pretend like we remembered all along.
Yeah, we don't have to say, oh, wait, I remembered to do this.
Right. In fact, when we did it this episode, it was a joke.
Yeah.
To set the fact that we're to the end of the podcast for this bit.
We knew all along.
We fooled you idiots. Ha!
And we're dumb, so if we fooled you, you must be really dumb.
You're double dumb in that case.
Our commercial is just being like, we call our listeners double dumb. Do you want to be verbally abused? What?
We should re-record the commercial just to include that.
Do you want to be verbally abused? Then listen to this podcast.
Well, good. All right.
All right.
But we actually do for real need to come up with a quote now. So let's. I'm gonna delegate that to you this time, since I think I did it last time. So.
All right. So I need you to talk for like 2 minutes then.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell everybody all about our extra special episode coming up next week, just in case you forgot from the past.
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
But you should continue to tell them about the episode.
No, I think we're good.
All right. Here's the quote. Ready?
Yep.
Alex, for all our listeners, Alex just nutted on my phone here in the middle of this Olive Garden.
That is, in case you didn't know, that is a Joel the Podcast original. I know that quote comes from one of our less good episodes, so I wouldn't blame you if you hadn't listened to it. But
it comes from episode 5 cover art.
Right.
So, but I think that's an excellent thing to add here in the middle of this Olive Garden too. So,
yeah.
If you don't remember the context, listen to our commercial won't have the context in it either. Wait, did we put that in the commercial? Let's see. Nope.
Wait. Wasn't that a short clip, though?
Well, the actual clip...
Oh, we said we could cut it to be, right?
Yeah, I did. All right, we'll put that in the commercial.
All right.
So I guess you won't hear the context, but if you want to know the context, go back and listen to episode 5.
All right.
All right, so yeah, I think, as you were saying, next episode will be our 1-year anniversary, crystal clear audio with actual funny clips from our podcast, so make sure to tune in, and thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Alex.
I'm Alex.
And this has been Joel.